lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you guys are here for another fun video. So we are again in my kitchen. I am not in my office today. So I decided to take you on an adventure in cooking with me. We'll see how it goes. But I've got some leftover turkey. So we ended up doing Thanksgiving with my parents this past Thursday because we kind of figured that this quarantine stuff was going to be hitting us again. And so it was just my parents, my brother, my husband, and I. So just the 5 of us. We, you know, sat 6 feet apart and all that stuff. But I really wanted to see them for the holidays. And we all kind of, you know, went into it. Just the 5 of us anyway. So I have leftover turkey because the only turkeys that were available for pickup this past week were 20-pound turkeys because everybody is buying the smaller turkeys because they're having smaller get-togethers. So I have a lot of turkey left over, and I thought I would make something turkey casserole related, and I thought maybe I'd make like Turkey Alfredo. I don't know, it could taste like ass. I have no idea, but I have Alfredo seasoning mix, Alfredo sauce stuff. I buy the Prego version, or I buy the Ragu, whichever one's available, but I like the Parmesan garlic one. So, let's go over and pick that up out of my pantry, shall we? Okay, so, Prego, roasted garlic, and Parmesan. This guy is the bomb. So we're going to use this guy. And what the heck else do I need in here? Okay, so I need some seasonings. I usually use garlic salt. I use Cajun seasoning, which people look at me like I'm crazy, but it is delicious in an Alfredo sauce. And where's my chili powder? I use chili powder in it. And let me see. I need to have... Well, typically I do chicken Alfredo, so I usually have chicken stock that I use. I don't know if that's going to have a weird flavor with turkey. I'm going to do it anyway, I don't care. So I usually use like this Knorr turkey. It's kind of like a bouillon cube. So I use one of these that I kind of mix into my pot as I'm melting stuff down. So we're gonna go with that. Bring all of our seasonings and whatnot. I feel like I'm missing something. I'll figure it out when I get started, won't I? Okay, so we've got all of our seasonings. Ugh. Made it all the way to the second counter. So I've got that. I need to get my pasta. And pasta. My husband's been up in my cupboard again and he moved my pasta around. Ugh. Okay, all right. There's 1, 2. So I'm gonna use 2 different types of pasta. I always do, because I like the texture differences when you're making pasta dishes. So today I am using wagon wheel shaped pasta from Meijer. Meijer is a local grocery store that we have that I love. And I'm also using Radiatore, which are like little... They're supposed to be like off of a radiator, but they look like that. They're super cute, but they hold on to the sauce really well. So both of these I think are good for a sauce like an Alfredo because it'll hold on and collect that sauce better. So put you back on that. And what do I gotta do? I gotta grab my pans. Pans are over there on the wall, so let me go get those. I need a big old pot to mix everything into, and I need a saucepan so that I can boil and cook the pasta. So I'll go ahead and put those down on my stove. We'll re-situate you. Okay, so I usually will do my pasta early and just let it sit. I'm really not in any huge hurry. getting the rest of the food done yet. It's only 6 o'clock now. My husband gets home anywhere from 6, well, usually it's like 5:30 to 8. He could come home in any of that time period, so I usually start making food around 6 if I haven't heard from him yet, because that typically means he's going to have a longer evening ahead of him. But, we'll see. So, I'm going to go ahead and get some water put in my saucepan. And the way people do this, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to have, like, a set amount of water. Am I supposed to do that? Because I don't. I just put a pile of water in a saucepan. I let it boil. I add the pasta. And bing, bang, boom, away we go. That's how this works. So, that's what I'm going to do. I thought I saw my husband's lights coming in. Nope, just kidding. I'm coming back, I promise. I haven't left you. Okay. I also will salt my water. I don't remember who told me this. Some Italian grandma somewhere, I think. You salt your water, and then you turn it on. I have an electric, not electric, I have a gas stove, which I love so much. I don't think I could ever go back to an electric stove. I had one the entire time I was living in an apartment, and it takes forever to heat up. The heating is so inconsistent, and electric is just not my bag, man. So if I don't ever have to do electric again, that's a-okay in my book. And my husband hates electric too. So we just had a huge meltdown with our stove this past weekend. So I told you we were doing Thanksgiving for my parents, and the igniter in the oven didn't want to work. Luckily for my turkey, I had a roaster that we got for a wedding present. So I was able to put the turkey in the roaster, but we also had a ham that we wanted to eat because Rob doesn't really like turkey, and neither does my dad and my brother. But my mother and I love turkey, so I was like, I'll make a turkey even if I'm the only one eating it. I don't care. And turkey at this time of year, I think it cost me $7 for the turkey that I got. A 20-pound turkey for $7. So I was like, yeah, we're going to do that. So we made the ham, but we couldn't get the ham to work out. Rob was going to put it out in our smoker and smoke the ham, but it was so windy that the wind kept blowing out the smoker, and then it's just like a comedy of errors, one thing after another happening. So he was not a happy camper about that, which I can't possibly blame him for it. But then he tried to bring it in the house, and the stove wouldn't work, and it was just like one thing after another. He did end up looking online to see if there would be an easy way to fix the problem, and he bought some sandpaper, and I guess there was like corrosion on the igniter area of the oven. So he sanded off the corrosion on the stove, and now it starts up like a dream. Listen to this. Listen. Just ignited, just like that. Just like that. Before, we would have to turn it off and turn it on about 47 times for it to finally catch a spark to ignite in the oven. So, little victories, man. Truly little victories. But anyway, so I'm going to heat up my saucepan. I am going to put in the Knorr seasoning bouillon tablet, and I'm going to cut up my turkey. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I will be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. So I have cut up my turkey, and the turkey is in the pan cooking right now. So I've also got the little bouillon cube you'll see in there. But turkey is just kind of reheating itself, because I've already cooked the turkey. I don't really need to do a whole lot of detail with that. But we're just getting it re-warmed up. And then I'm going to season the turkey now. So the seasonings that I always use for my Alfredo, like I said, typically I do this with chicken. So I don't know if turkey's going to be a very big different flavor profile, but what the hell. It's one time a year you do this. So I usually put in garlic salt. So I put a little bit, pinch and a half or so of garlic salt. And then I put in Cajun seasoning. And the Cajun seasoning I am very generous with. I love the flavor of Cajun seasoning. I don't have a whole lot left. I don't know if you can see that. Not a whole lot. So I'm going to probably just dump the rest of this in here. It's probably about 2 tablespoons worth of the Cajun seasoning. Which I know is not good for me because there's a lot of salt in it, but whatever, man. I'm going to die of something anyway. And since there's salt in literally every single thing I eat, whatever. And then I put chili powder in it as well. Not a whole lot because my husband does not like it super hot. But I do like to have a little bit of a kick in everything that I eat. I am definitely that person that likes flavor in my food. So that's usually what I go to. I also have the Radiatore pasta cooking right now because it takes longer to cook. The wagon wheels only take about 5 to 7 minutes, and the Radiatore is about 9 to 11. So we'll put those on for the first couple minutes, and then I'll add the wagon wheels as soon as it gets down to the 7-minute mark on my timer. My husband does not like al dente. He does not like any kind of a bite in his excuse me, in his pasta. So we have to cook that down completely. So I follow the instructions on the boxes to the letter in that respect because I don't want it to taste funky for him. So the next thing I'm going to add to my turkey mix is frozen broccoli. Now, I don't know if this is like a hot fire. Oh God. My ice maker just makes ice nonstop. It never stops making ice. So it's always spilling ice all over the floor every time I open the damn thing up. But I'm not sure if I'm supposed to cook it, you know, in another capacity before I add it to my hot stuff, but I don't. We haven't died of anything yet, so I guess that's okay, right? I don't know. I'm not a cook. I make this stuff up as I go. So this is supposed to be like a steamable bag, and I guess I could do that. Let's just, actually, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to steam up this broccoli first. Let's see, I have 1,000 watts, so it says 5.5 minutes. So, five and a half minutes, start. So that will be going and will get added into my turkey mixture. My turkey is browning up nicely. And it smells pretty good. I mean, it smells like turkey, but like I said, I really hope this doesn't suck. But, I don't know. I'm not very good at this stuff. I only have a frame of reference, really, with cooking. I know what I like and what tastes good, and that's what I go with. Now, if I was getting, like, the ultimate Alfredo, I would be eating my friend Mike's Alfredo, who makes it from scratch, and it is the most amazing thing I've ever consumed in my life. I remember right out of college, I would go to visit him down in Lima, Ohio, and he would make me Alfredo, and it was just to die for. But I neither have the time nor the patience to make it the way he does with cream and Parmesan cheese and whatever fancy cheeses he was buying, like a Parmesan original, what, I don't know, you know, fancy cheese. He buys the fancy cheese, and I buy cheese sauce in a jar. So, take that however you want, but that's the way I do things in my household. And my husband has not kicked me out for cooking yet, so I guess I'm doing an okay job. But that's what I do. So I've added my Prego sauce. I'm going to let that simmer down with the turkey. And then when the broccoli gets done here in 3 minutes and 47 seconds, I will be adding that as well. So I'm going to put you on another quick hold. Also in this time, I have added the wagon wheel pasta, just so you know. Okay, so I've got less than a minute left on the microwave for the broccoli, and I've got my Alfredo and the turkey on kind of a low simmer, just to kind of stay warm. And I've still got about 2.5–3 minutes left on my pasta. So we're just waiting for all these things to come together. And I am not a person that like has the noodles separate and then like you pour the sauce over the noodles. I combine everything in my pan. That's why I have this big skillet that I cook in, so that I can combine everything together as I make it. Because I just feel like it has the sauce attached to the noodles much better. I hate having... What are you popping for? My broccoli's gonna explode. It's fine. It's only got... Okay, it's done. It's fine. But I don't like noodles that don't have sauce on it. I think it's kind of a bummer. So I like to incorporate it into my sauce. So I'm gonna pull out my colander. This fancy guy. And I'm gonna move him over here to my sink. Got stuff over here that was drip drying that I'm gonna put away. Colander there. Let me put these away really quick. Okay, all right. So noodles should be getting done here shortly. Like I said, the Alfredo and the turkey is still simmering, and I will come back here in a couple minutes when I can combine everything. Okay, so those wagon wheels are still a tad bit al dente, so I'm going to keep them in a little bit longer than recommended. It said 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to probably keep them in for about 8 minutes. But like I said, my husband does not like chewy, crunchy, in any capacity noodles, so I have to make sure that they're nice and soft. But I am going to combine my broccoli into my Alfredo sauce. So let me grab my scissors, open up this bag. I let it kind of sit for a second, but I didn't let it vent. I guess I should have let it vent first, because it's, yeah, steaming like a mofo. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, best laid plans, all that stuff. Anyway, so we'll let this steam up a little bit more. And I don't think there's a ton of water in there. That's the one thing I hate with broccoli, is if it gets inundated with water. But we're going to just pour the whole thing into the Alfredo pan. We're going to go ahead and mix that up. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So broccoli's been added. So we'll get that all mixed in and let it sit for a little bit longer until the noodles are all done. I turned down the heat on the noodles, but I'm still letting them cook. So I'm hoping that that will bring up the tenderness on the noodles without ruining the already tenderness of the other noodles that I use, the Radiatore. So let's check those out again, see how we're doing with this. I keep forgetting I gotta take you with me. Okay, so try and grab one of both noodles. Okay. Those are much better. I'm going to rinse off my pasta spoon, put that in the sink. And now I'm going to go ahead and dump my pasta, because it is done. Move over here. Get all of those little tiny pasta babies. I really like these noodles because they're so teeny tiny. Sometimes when you have the bigger noodles, like the bow tie pastas and things like that, it makes it hard for them to all fit into the sauce. And sometimes that forces me to open up another jar of sauce, and I hate doing that, especially when it's just Rob and I. There's no point in doing that. I've really not figured out the way of cooking for 2 people. It's cooking for a family of 5 in my house, always, because I just don't know, I don't have that ratio down of cooking for 2. As it is, this amount of pasta is ridiculous. So it probably won't all be going into the Alfredo, but it's all cooked up if I want to have like buttered noodles or something tomorrow. So I'm not going to rinse it. I'm just going to add it directly into the Alfredo mix. So let me get you swiveled back around over here. And we will add the noodles. And I just added all of them. I shouldn't have, but I did anyway. I think it'll be okay. Okay, so this is the situation we got now. So I've added all the noodles, and I'm going to mix it all together. Now, I am a Parmesan cheese fan, so typically when I make my portion, I add Parmesan cheese to the mix. But Rob is not so much of a fan of the Parmesan. I think he's one of those people that thinks it smells like feet. So he doesn't typically do Parmesan cheese, which is fine. To each their own. He's also the person that thinks cilantro tastes like soap. So he's one of those people. Which actually really just breaks my heart. Because cilantro is awesome. It's probably like my favorite herb next to basil. Basil's number 1. Well, no. Mint is number 1. Basil's number 2. And then cilantro would be number 3 for me, I think. Although sage is good. And so is lavender. But for cooking purposes, basil and cilantro are my 2 go-tos. So now I've got everything combined in my skillet, and I'm going to let that just stay warm. So, I mean, it's pretty much done at this point, but Rob, I still am not entirely sure when he's going to get home, so I'm going to just keep this on a very low temp, put a lid on it, and wait till he gets home. So I will try this. I actually could just try a bite of it right now and let you know what it tastes like. Just for, you know, purposes. I'm going to try and get a bite with the turkey and with the noodles and a piece of broccoli. Okay, so this is a big ass bite, but I'm going to take it anyway. Can you see that? With the broccoli, and there's a piece of turkey right there. Okay. So we're going to try this out. I always get like a stuffy nose when I work around all this heat coming off of the stove. I'm not hating it. I like the turkey in it, actually, because some people don't like turkey because it gets really dry. The white meat does. I think it's got good flavor in this. It absorbs the Alfredo sauce. I like it a lot, actually. So this is a good one for extra turkey. So if you got turkey left over, just go get a jar of Alfredo mix. If you can. I know Alfredo's kind of in short supply during COVID stuff, but if you can find it, definitely pick it up. Or if you want to be like Mike and be a fancy pants and make your own pasta sauce, go ahead and do that too. But it's a good mix. I think you'll like it. If you try it, let me know what you think. Have a good Thanksgiving, guys. Bye.